Here's the deal, folks. It's 12 o'clock, straight up, East Coast time. If nothing else, we start on time, Stuart. So we're going to – I keep calling you Stuart because that's the name on your projector there, but you're the wrench with me. This is Wrench, Don't Call Me Stuart, Lloyd Cohen, and Mike Marchev, Part 2, how to capture river cruise business, how to capture more river cruise business, as illustrated in that booklet right there, plus the 8 mental triggers. Okay, that's what started this.
But groups.
And we had a webinar. Stuart, you're going to talk in a minute. Stay calm. We had a webinar a couple of weeks ago, folks, and we had so much fun talking about groups. However, and it's an important however, we drifted, as people do, who sometimes are not scripted. Stuart and I are not scripted. We drifted, and I got an email from a good friend of mine in San Francisco saying, Mike, I enjoyed the program. It was all about groups, good information. Oh, here it comes, the word you don't like to hear at the end of a sentence. But you drifted away from the title of river cruising. So Stuart Lloyd Cohen and I, Stuart from Memphis, Tennessee, Lloyd Cohen and I, we got on the phone and decided to do a part 2 to address specifically the river cruise aspects of capturing more group travel business. So this is part 2, only because we, in a sense, we didn't screw up part 1, but we drifted. We call it, we drifted. So is that right, Stuart? Am I right so far?
100% on the money. We got a lot of great feedback, but we also got feedback saying, whoa, you got away from river cruise specifically. You got a little bit away from, you were talking more groups in general. So we said, let's come back to part 2 because we do have some questions that we didn't get to during the original broadcast we're going to kick off with, right? And then, right, Mike, or should I call you Mark, with all due respect, we want everybody to ask the questions during the programming, during the show, because they're running it. We're going to get right to it. But Judy says that she can just hear us and not see us. So for those of you who can't see us, if you'd like to see 2 dashing, dapper young men, then there's a way to toggle on your screen. Believe me, we're coming through. So can I just ask everybody, can you see and hear us?
If you can't see us, put a yes down there. If you can see us, put a yes there.
Yeah. And because you should, Judy, there's a way to toggle. And if you only want to see me and not see Mike, I don't know how that's possible. If you only want to see Mike and not me, I'll be terribly disappointed, slightly offended, but I don't know if that's possible too. Let's see here. Yvonne sends in questions. All right, we got a lot of yeses, tons of yeses.
All right, there you go.
But of course, Mitch says I regret that he can see us both and hear us both. Oh man. We got to put a block.
Hey, listen. We have to get started. We got Yvonne sending a question already. Stuart, document that question. I'm going to pick up here. I want to do a special shout out to Peg Keju out there. Good friend of mine. Peg is on the scene, and Mary Ellen Lopes. She's there. Okay, these are my inner circle people. Fantastic. Michael Kruper also came in early. Okay, we got Marty and Mitch Creighton. We got a lot of folks on there. I'm just trying to pick out to see if anybody in my inner circle here. Lori. Bruce, Al, okay, they're all here. Very good. All right, so here's what I want to do, folks. How to capture more river cruises. I'm going to open things up, then turn it over to Stuart. Stuart, mark down Yvonne's question because I want to make sure we get to that one.
I got it.
Folks, you have a product, and let's call the product river cruising. You could fill in the blanks. We're talking about river cruising today, and you need a prospect. You need somebody to talk to. You have a product. Now you have to introduce that product to a interested, keyword, interested group of people or individual. And the question is, how do we do that? How do we go out with a product which happens to be a proven product? The beautiful thing about river cruising is that it's proven. Personally, and Stuart, correct me if I'm wrong, I have never, not once, heard anybody speak negatively about a river cruise. Not once.
100%.
Now maybe. I say maybe the ones who got, with the flooding a couple of years ago and the rivers came up so high they couldn't go under the bridges and they had to take buses around. Maybe those people had a beef, but it was Mother Nature. But by and large, river cruising is a proven product, so you can feel really good about introducing it to anybody. Okay, so now here's the deal. How can we introduce river cruising and leverage our time to the maximum? And the answer is by finding groups of people who meet regularly, and you then introduce an opportunity for you to come in and introduce river cruising to them in a short, brief, concise, factual. You don't have to go to school, public speaking school. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You are going to introduce them to this great, great vacation option. The best way is to find groups. Rotary clubs, sewing clubs, home associations. There's a lot of groups out there. You invite them in to introduce them to the river cruise. Now, the beautiful thing is that pictures will sell. You show pictures from an ocean cruise, and I love ocean cruising, don't get me wrong, but by and large, you can show them an ocean, and then you can show them a jewelry store. And that's really just about, and maybe a beach. I'll throw in a beach and a Mai Tai. There you go. So 4 pictures and you're done. But on river cruising, you can show them the towns. You can show them the rivers. You can show them the banks along the side of the river. You can show them the ship itself. You can show them the churches, the cathedrals, the pubs, the bistros, the restaurants. You can show them the mountains. You can show them all these pictures which will entice them and stimulate their thinking and will motivate them to perhaps considering this cruise. So you then go in with a projector, show the meeting. First you land the meeting. How do you do that? You write a letter. You say, I have a 20-minute presentation I'd love to share with you. Whenever you're ready, give me a call. Personally, if I owned a travel agency, I would be sending 10 of these out a day. A day. Because there's no downside. Even if they don't take you in, even if they don't invite you in, you're saying, I'm a river cruise specialist. I want to share this with you. Call me into your meeting, 20 minutes. I'll show Q&A period afterwards. And what's going to happen? Some people are going to buy a cruise, but perhaps more importantly, you have had a chance to introduce yourself, your professionalism, the way you handle yourself in public, your personality, and you will meet 10, 20, 30, 50, 60 people at one sitting and introduce yourself as the go-to source when it comes to travel. That is how I would go out and capture river cruise business. Starting with a letter, following up with a 20-minute presentation, and then you're going to have, trust me, the river's going to sell itself. You don't have to do any selling. You have to just show and tell, and the river will take care of itself. Stuart, take over.
Yeah, I want to add to that. And everybody, if you got those questions, type them in. But we want, as Mike said, we want to start off like this, answering the biggest question, because that's the name of the program, which is how to source more. How do you capture more river cruise group business? So we wanted to start off giving you a bunch of salient points to answer directly to that, and then go directly to your questions. And Yvonne, I've got you queued up as next. But one thing I want to suggest is that if your people aren't local, okay, if you can't meet with them locally, as Mike is suggesting here, then and if you don't have a GoToWebinar license like we do, okay, and you can get a small license, it's not terribly expensive for the year, and perhaps share it with other agents, but then just do a conference call, right? And I want to give you an example, Mike, if I might be so bold to tell everybody that, you know, we don't just talk the talk, we do it. I'm doing a small charter in 2017, April 2017, and I'm doing the things that Mike and I are preaching right now. So we don't just talk about it, we're doing it. The people, and this is going to be a Stuart and Kimberly, friends and family of Stuart and Kimberly. Real simple. Guess who's the group leader? Me and my wife. And they're located around the country. So we're going to do, for a series of 4 weeks, one evening a week, we're going to do a 30-minute presentation and 30-minute optional Q&A. Okay, but first, as Mike said, the first thing you want to do is, before you sell the group, you got to sell the concept of river cruising, friends, because most people have no clue what a river cruise is. No idea what a river cruise is. So the first 2 sessions that we're going to do is selling the concept of a river cruise. And then number 2, the second session, is we're going to get more in depth about the itinerary. While we pick this itinerary, we're not selling anything the first 2 sessions. So just to back up for a second, I always like to say, remember, if you're focused on selling something, people are going to push back. Nobody wants to be sold to. But if you do what Mike suggests, do a local event or do a virtual event, then say, you have to assume these people have a problem, and their problem is they don't know what a river cruise is. Or maybe they have a problem. And this is the question you always want to ask. Then, Mike, it's coming back to you. I just want to throw this point out. Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Go.
Which is that if you're doing one of Mike's programs locally, or if you're doing a virtual program like I am, and maybe, but you don't have a group in mind, you're sourcing groups. This is the question you want to ask, because a lot of times a river cruise could be the trip of a lifetime, because it's not cheap. You want to ask this question: do you have any big celebrations coming up on the horizon? Somebody's going to go like this. As a matter of fact, yeah, it's our 50th. Yeah, it's our 75th. Yeah, it's our blah, blah, blah. And boom, there's a potential for a group. And don't think it has to be a 50-cabin group. This could be a 10-cabin group on a river cruise, and you can have a ball. You can make a ton of money. Mike?
Stuart, I agree 100%. While you were talking, I just was glancing at some of the questions, and it seemed some of them, I triggered the question myself when I said nobody complains. Well, apparently quite a few people complain, and it all has to do with the level of the river. It can be low, as somebody mentioned this year, that the rivers on the Danube are low. Now, we all know that you're not floating on 50 feet of water. Sometimes you're floating on 4 feet of water, and low is as troublesome as high. Now, is that a problem? Is that a concern? Yes, of course it is, because people don't want to go to Europe, spend an airplane ticket, and then take a bus ride around Europe. Although some people staying on board the ship and enjoying the ambiance of the ship and then bussing out, that is an alternative. It's not the best alternative, but you can't do anything about Mother Nature. I can't do anything about Mother Nature. Those rivers have been around for a bazillion years, and I just suggest that you raise that issue. Don't hide it. Don't pretend it'll never happen. Just say, hey, the downside, if there is one, is river levels. And at times, due to rain, due to drought, due to snow coverage or whatever it is, the river levels fluctuate. Now, I don't have this percentage, but I would say, and I would don't candy coat it, because if you raise the issue, they realize you're a square shooter. Oh, don't worry about the river. Don't worry. Yeah, you can worry about the river. It's a legitimate concern. But out of the last 7,000 cruises, 3% had to be adjusted because of the water. I don't know what the percentage is, but don't dodge it and don't pretend, don't poo-poo it, because it's a real concern. So I can't do anything about the water. You can't do anything about the water. But I know in the two I've taken, I had no water problems. I'm going on a third in November.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate it, but if it is, hey, it rains.
I got to tell you, I think, in my opinion, my personal, humble opinion, I think that so few people even know what a river cruise is, have even heard of the low river situation, which is extremely rare. I think more people have heard of the flu going around on the ocean cruises. If somebody brings it up, then you look them in the eyes and you talk about it and you give them that statistic. And also, it's not on every river. It's only certain rivers and only certain area of certain rivers. And it's so rare, you don't want to dwell on it, because you don't want to scare them away from this. Can we go with this question from Yvonne?
Yeah, go.
All right, here we go. Yvonne asks, what is the recommended way to promote, and you give it a quick answer, I'll give a quick answer. What is the recommended way to promote to seniors who are not technologically savvy? Mike?
Well, I really don't see the connection. If you're going to go face to face, they don't have to be technology savvy. They just have to be polite and sit in here and listen and watch. Everybody can watch a television screen or watch a screen with pictures on it. You're there talking. Face-to-face selling, folks. With all the Facebook and the Twitters and the LinkedIns and all of this stuff, iPhones, I'm not suggesting it's not important. I'm suggesting that when push comes to shove, I want to be in your face, in front, not in your face. Let me back up a little bit. I want to be in front of you so I can read you, talk to you, respond to you one-on-one. And the seniors, that's the language they speak. I don't see a problem there.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. The only thing I would add too about the talking to seniors is that seniors, almost all seniors have computers these days. So you can definitely email and you can send them links, I believe. But ask them first, if you're presenting to a group, ask them, what's the best way for us to communicate? And if you're local, you're going to do what Mike just said. You're going to set up a little meeting because this group may meet regularly, or maybe you can go to the complex where they live, or do it at the library, do it at the back of a restaurant, and speak. The key is you have to speak their language. You have to talk where they talk, how they talk, when they talk. And if you're going after a senior group, you can't say, well, I'm going to post it here and I'm going to send out Twitter. And if they don't have it, they're going to go goodbye to you. You have to speak their language. And their language may be, you don't want to go giving out tons of brochures, but everyone likes something to touch. Okay, so you could do a one sheet. Like Mike and I, we're great with the special reports. And I know Mike's going to offer you a free special report. I'm going to offer you a special, because everyone loves to get a special report. It could be 1 page, 2 pages. But what you want to do is, like what I'm going to do, is you want to give a top 10 list, a top 5 list, or the most important things you need to know about river cruising that you never knew before. And that's what you're going to communicate, hand it out to them. And if you say you want to save the trees, would you like me to email it to you as a PDF? Somebody's going to be out there real savvy, is going to say, yeah, email it to me. I'll save it on my Mac. But some people say, can you hand it to me? You got to ask them first how they best communicate, and then communicate like that.
And two additional points, I think, because I happen to be, Yvonne, believe it or not, I'm a senior. Okay, I'm an old guy, older than dirt, getting up there. And sometimes I have to read things twice. Sometimes I have to hear things twice. And many times I look at my wife watching television and I say, what just happened? Okay, so the key, the professional, slow down. Slow down when you're talking to what you call seniors. I don't know what your definition is. Slow down, and here is a professional sales, not trick, I'll use tactic, whatever you want to call it. Every once in a while, stop, look them in the eye and say, are you with me? Are you following me? Am I speaking? Are you getting this? Do you want me to go back? Do you want me to repeat something? Because they'll be embarrassed, not ask you to repeat it, and they won't hear anything you said or showed them. So back up a little bit. And do you see what I mean? Do you see? Do you get the connection? Am I connecting the dots? And just work with them is the way I would do it. Now, videos is another subject that everybody in the travel business, if not already, needs to investigate. I use the word investigate. Getting your own video. Getting your own 3-minute, 4-minute video. Why? Because a face, a hand expression. I mean, if this was just audio, you wouldn't see this. You wouldn't see my eyes. You wouldn't see my body lean. Video is a powerful selling tool. And seniors can watch television, and you can give them a link to YouTube and watch a 3-minute video, and they'll get the message. And they say, let me call you up after you watch the video, and I'll answer any of your questions. Right. Now, before Stuart picks up again, before we lose anybody, my email is down below there, mike@mikemarchev.com, and also Stuart's is there too. But I'm going to tell you this once now, I'll tell you later. Okay. If you send me an email, people on the line now, if you send me an email, I'll be happy, delighted, as my way of saying thanks, to send you a special report called my 12-word marketing plan. So there's 2 reasons why I want you to do that, but just email me now while you forget. Just do it right now, Mike@mikemarchev.com. I'll send you a special report, and I'm going to tell you why I'm sending it to you after you do that. But don't put it off. Do it right now. And if you don't do it right now, this is over at 1 o'clock. By 5 o'clock tonight, the deal's off. Oh. So you have till 5 o'clock to ask for my special report. And I'll explain before I leave today what I just did. Okay? Stuart, go ahead.
I know. And if you email me, I will send you a copy of Mike's special report.
Then you'll have 2 of them, and there you go. Bada bing.
I haven't figured out what I'm going to send out for you. You guys tell me what you want, because I got a ton of stuff. But I promise you I'm going to offer something. I just want to make a comment, Mike, because a lot of people are typing in about unhappy clients with low river levels, this kind of stuff. As very, very, very rare as it is, I want to end the conversation on giving this recommendation. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Mike. Listen to your rep. Get on the horn with the rep from that river cruise line right now when we're done, and ask, how do I deal with this? How do I handle it? What do I say to prepare them? What are the chances? How does it work? Help me through it. They have to be the experts. They should know the exact words, the exact printed information, everything. Look, ladies and gentlemen, you're professionals. You guys need to know how to stand up and be able to be confident and firm in this, because traveling, whether you're traveling by air and there's a storm, you can't get there. If you're on an ocean cruise ship and there's a storm, you can't call on that island. It happens. It happens, Mike. And we're the pros. They're looking to us. But I think it's totally righteous to go to the River Cruise rep and say, how do I handle this? Train me. Let's role play. I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I don't want to book into this River Cruise group because I'm afraid the river's going to be low. And see what they say. Learn from it and practice. All right, here we go. Alana says, here we go. 2 couples returned last week on 2 different river cruises. And each couple signed up and paid in full many, many months ago. But each told me the story that anyone who signed up close to the cruise time paid a lot less than they did. The River Cruise Company is offering deep discounts for those who sign up very close to travel time. Also, a big travel agency is offering onboard credit in our small town. Now I have to match this to clients. I have something I want to respond, but Mike, you want to give it a shot? Then I'll talk and we'll go to the next question. It's a real issue. It's always been.
I think that's a valid concern by the consumer and the travel agent. The question remains, is that if you wait, you may not, especially with river cruises, if you wait too long, you may not have an option. It could be gone. It's sold. So booking early makes sense. If you own that river cruise and you were going to leave the dock with 5 cabins left, it's only business to say I have to put bodies in those 5 cabins. And what they do is they lower the price to see if they get the demand up again. So you can't blame the cruise line. You went early. You have a cabin. They decided to risk it. You can risk it next time if you want. But I would just as soon go to sleep for the next 6 months knowing that I'm in good shape. Now, you can go back and ask for a credit or whatever it is, and if you do it properly, if you do it professionally, the chances are they're going to give it to you. If you do it like a wise guy, then they're not going to give it to you. I mean, that's the way it works. So that's reality. Just picture yourself, you owning that cruise ship, how would you do it? How would you do it? Okay. And that's the way they're doing it. But you work with them. You say, listen, I got some good clients. They're really kind of miffed. What can we do for them? Mm-hmm. And chances are they're going to do something for them. That was my knee-jerk response on that, Stuart. I mean, if it's your wallet, of course you're going to say, wait a second.
Absolutely. And my advice to Alana and everybody else on the line, because this is something as travel professionals we deal with every day. It happens, whether it's a resort. There's always somebody out there who's going to take money out of their pocket and rebate, which is a dirty, ugly, grotesque word. If anybody's on this call now and you rebate, I'm disappointed, because you're worth a lot more than that. And that commission is so small to begin with. To give it back to get the business, you're creating no loyalty, because they're going to shop till you drop and book someplace else, all for over $5, and you're not making money, and they're going to drive you nuts. So here's what you do. Number one, you make sure you're booking river cruises with a supplier who's got your back, in your corner, who's in your pocket, who will protect you should the prices drop. Because as Mike said, right, it happens. This is a common theme. It happens. The river goes low, the prices could go low. No, so make sure you work with a supplier that's going to take care of you and do good for you if they have to drop the price, because that's the last thing in the world they want to do. I know it. I was a supplier. I get it. Number two, we're talking groups here. If you block the group and you are selling that same exact product off the shelf, dollar for dollar, apples to apples, that another cruise company is selling, or that the supplier direct is selling, you're making a mistake. I'm going to be bold, Mike. If you don't mind me saying, you're making a mistake.
I want you to be bold.
The whole idea behind a group is to make it so that nobody can beat you up on price. Is that you're presenting now for those of you who are in my group boot camp, you know the answer. This power, listen to this carefully, write it down. The power is in the package. The power is in the package. If you want to fail at doing affinity groups, sell exactly the same product that's being sold on the FIT side. You will definitely fail, because they will shop till they drop, and they will eventually drop you, because they're going to say, I found it for $5 cheaper down the road. You want to have a package. It includes transfers. It includes an excursion. It includes a special dinner. It includes something. That's what I'm doing with my charter. That's exactly what I'm doing, Mike. I am building in stuff so and I tell them, go shop till you drop. If you have time to waste, if you have hours to sit in front of your computer and check on pricing, go knock yourself out. And if you think you found something that's cheaper, it's probably cheaper because it is cheaper. It's a cheap product. You want to book that, go book it, but you won't be a part of my group. You're not coming to my dinners. You're not drinking my booze at the cocktail parties. You're not participating in the special events. That's
the powerful side of this group, because with groups you can do that. You can become special. You can do special. You can go places that other people can't go.
Yep.
So I keep drifting off of the concept of groups, but we're talking about a collective number of people on board a river cruise. Yep. That, as Stuart just said, that if you package it properly, you can't. We're not talking apples and apples. I mean, you're talking with deaf ears. Go do that if you want, but you're not going to get what I have developed through my contacts, through my work, my labors, my effort, my fam trips. I go over there and I've set this up. You can't get this from anybody else.
Yeah. That's it.
Now you price it fairly. People don't want to pay the price. Hey, that's okay. That's all right too.
Yep.
That's all right too. But I want you to remember that I think it was Regent Cruise Line this week, Stuart. Didn't they just mention their around the world cruise opening ticket price $55,000? $55,000, and they sold 70% of their inventory for 2017 within 3 hours.
Yeah.
I might be off an hour. Don't quote me. Don't send a nasty email saying it was 4 hours. I don't know what it was, but they sold 70% out of 55,000. That's 110,000 entry level. It goes up from there. So people are out there. If you're getting the nickel dimers, you're not going to sell something. But go after the people who have special occasions, who want to travel, who want something special, who want the hand-holding. And if they get over there and there is a river, they know they have somebody to talk to, being you, because you're either there with them trying to sort things out, or you're back here on the phone trying to sort things out.
And that's why it's great when a travel professional can build themselves into the package so they can go and escort. If it's a big enough group, if it's a complex enough group, you need to be there. Or I love it when you are the group leader. You be the group leader, because when I'm doing a whisper campaign on mine. And I'm telling friends and family who have only dreamt about river cruising, they haven't a clue what it is. I'm going to say, look, I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to hold you by the hand. Don't worry about it. I will be there with you. We're going with you. Oh, my goodness, the confidence factor, boom, shoots right up. And that is invaluable right there, because that really decreases the chance of them shopping and shopping and shopping. But let's see here. Should I go to another question? We've got.
Well, yeah, I have one here, Stuart. While you were talking, it was a question about people want to come to my office, and I don't have an office. Yes. I live at home.
Yes.
Now, many years ago, when I started in business, if you said you were working at home, that was telling people you just got fired. Okay, it was a very negative term. No one put any credibility in you working at home. Today, it's not the case. People work at home. Yes. Smart people work at home. Right. Intelligent people work at home. Okay, so number one, there's no downside. Now, if they want to come to your office, and if they want to come to your dining room table, then that's option A. But you can also not rent rooms. I've done it myself in Toms River, New Jersey. You go to the library and say, may I have that room and that door closed for the next 3 hours? And they say yes. So you can have a place to meet. You can meet at a diner over a cup of coffee. You can meet at the library. You can meet at a church group meeting room. There's places for you to meet if you don't want to invite them into your own home.
Yeah.
But don't apologize that you don't have a brick and mortar to bring people to.
Yeah. I agree, and you know what? I endorse. I sound like I'm from Boston. I endorse it.
Endorse. I endorse. Long Island.
Yeah, endorse. Home-based workers, and I applaud what you just said, Mike, which is don't be embarrassed, don't be shy. I said absolutely come to my home. And look, if you've got one of those messy offices that you wouldn't think of having anybody in, right after this call,
clean it up.
Put on loud music. Clean it up, my gosh, because some of the reps will come visit you at your home sometimes, and you want it. And it would be beautiful to have somebody in your home. Talk about a level of integrity and trust that they're coming into your home, they're going to buy, friends. If they come to your home, they're going to buy. And you're going to serve them a little tea. You're going to make up a little coffee, a little water, a couple of cookies, something like that, unless they've got to watch the glutens. Be very careful with the glutens.
No glutens. Gluten's free. There you go. Hey, Stuart, I need to interrupt you just for this minute. My strategy, folks, has always been get people to come to you.
Yeah.
Get people to call you.
Right.
If your phone rings, you are in total control of that phone call. If you call somebody, there's no control. Get people to dial your 7 digits. Get people to email you. Get people to come to your choice of restaurant. Get people to come to your house. You then can show them your true personality. You're in control. Like me or don't like me, I'm not wishy-washy. This is who you get. This is who I am. Take me or leave me. Give me a deposit. I got to go watch television. I mean, there you go. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And the other thing I just want to add is that if it's about a messy office, you know, the environment that you work in, that I work in, that we all work in, it really affects our ability to be productive, our effectiveness, our efficiency, everything. So for your own benefit, I suggest you clean up your home office so it's comfortable. It's a really nice work environment as well.
Listen, here, Stuart, this is very clear. Option A or option B.
Right.
Stuart endorses option A.
Yeah.
What he does, he takes everything off the floor and sticks it on the wall behind him.
Yeah.
He's got a clean rug.
That's it.
Because it's all on the wall.
It's all on the wall.
Conversely, all my stuff is below the camera. You're not going to see anything here.
Yeah. Well, I got my wife's desk is over there. Kimberly's desk is there. And I got my drum set there. I don't know if I told you more, but I finally got my drum sets right there. You want to see my? Look at it. Look.
Maybe you can drum us out at the end.
Look. There it is.
Look at this. Here it comes. Look. Holy cow.
That's it. And I'm still building.
The guy not only comes to the meeting with shorts, he goes and has it in the music room. What a guy.
All right, listen, there's some great questions. I just want to make one quick comment. Then, Mike, I want to read you a question that somebody emailed in. Al emailed in a question. But first, I want to answer this. Frank posted, most libraries and associations do not permit a sales presentation. It needs to be presented as a travelogue.
Perfect. I love that.
So you know what? Hold on. Frank just proved our point because that's perfect. That means anybody coming knows they're not going to be sold to. They don't need to bring their wallets. I said this on our first session with TRO because this was originally through TRO. We did this. I said, your mission in life as a travel professional, whether it's a group of individuals, is not to make the sale, but to get them on your list. Get them on your list. So do all the travelogues in the world. And the business will come because that comes later. They first, as you said, Mike, before, they have to know you, love you, trust you, respect you. And then when they're ready to travel, or then when you're ready to sell something, they'll buy it.
People do business with people they like, all things being equal. So step number one is to get, and I might add, your biggest problem, folks, out there in media land, wherever you are out there, there's quite a number of you on the line today, your biggest problem, by my account, is that not enough people know you're alive. That's it. I can't do business with you. I don't know you exist. Mm-hmm. So your first step, groups, ungroups, rivers, I don't care what you got to become visible. You got to get into the marketplace and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. I can help you. Mm-hmm. So visibility is very important. So Frank, that's beautiful. I'm not selling you anything. I'm introducing myself and educating you on Alaska or Bermuda or river cruises or whatever it is you want to talk about. That's beautiful. And if you do a good job, guess what? The library is going to ask you to come back. Why? Because it's a community service.
You're the authority. You're the authority. Who are they going to call? They're going to call you because you're the authority.
There you go.
Okay.
It's just all you want to do is get yourself in front of a group of people and show them that you're one of the good guys.
Don't sell them.
Because remember, the product is going to sell itself. Rivers up and down, we can't do much about that. Mm-hmm. We can't do anything about hurricanes. We can't do anything about fires. Mm-hmm. We can't do anything about tornadoes. Mm-hmm. We can't do anything about floods. We can't. I mean, that's all, the whole world is involved in that. Mm-hmm. But the river cruise itself is a solid product. Groups of people, your group is a solid product, and you're saying I can put the two together for the vacation of a lifetime.
Right. Absolutely. Bingo. And don't be as focused on giving out business cards, because then you're going to be back at your office waiting for the phone to ring, and usually it doesn't. Collect business cards.
Collect them. Get those
Collect.
cards.
All right, here's a question that Al sent in. Then we're going to go back to the boards because there's a bunch of comments that I think we should just make a quick comment to that people have posted. Al asked this question. If you don't offer a Pied Piper a free cabin up front, how do you motivate him or her to participate? And you want me to take that one on, Mike?
I want you to take that one.
All right. So here's the deal. If you don't offer the Pied Piper free cabin up front, how do you motivate him or her to participate? Well, here's the deal. Number one, make sure that's what they want. Because if they're part of an association, a club, some kind of a group where they're going to get their cabin paid for anyway. So here you went and you offered a free cabin, you're blabbing away in all your enthusiasm and excitement because you know you're going to earn, you should earn a TC, and you're going to give away something you never needed to give away. So as I said, I always like to say, first you got to find out what the group leader or the Pied Piper wants. If you offered me, you know what I'm going to say, Mike. If you offered me an all-you-can-eat spaghetti and meatballs dinner, I would say, you can have it. You can eat it yourself. Perhaps if it was whole wheat pasta, maybe, because I don't eat white pasta, but I can't eat meat. I'm worse than the cows on a big farm. I'll create a crater. There'll be a new crater, and if it rains, it'll be a lake. You don't want me. You don't offer something to somebody unless you know they want it. Number two, Al, you used the word upfront, and Mike, I just need to jump on this. Upfront is a dangerous word because if you guarantee the free cabin upfront, and by the way, don't ever use the word TC because hopefully they don't know what it is. They shouldn't. They have no business knowing what a TC is. Don't be the one to teach them. What if you guarantee it and you fall short, you don't earn it? What if the day before the cruise, two couples back out because their kid's having a baby and they couldn't go. And you missed the TC, but you've already given out the cabin. So my suggestion is if it is going to be the TC they want, if it's a freebie they want, A, you got to make sure they really, really want it, of course. B, you got to make sure they know what money they're still responsible for, right, Mike? Because there's taxes, there's gratuities, there's fees. Make it clear if you're paying for it all or not. And number three, you are going to collect money from them. Listen to me, folks. Listen up. You're going to collect the money from them. They're going to pay for that cabin. And once you disembark, once that ship sets sail, river cruise or ocean cruise, then you're going to give them the money back. And you're going to have this in the agreement because you have to protect yourself from last-minute cancellations that will remove the TC, and you can't go. Nobody's going to pay you after the fact if they've already gotten a free trip. So I hope that helps, and you can answer on or move on to the next comment or question. That's how I really feel about getting a Pied Piper in.
Yeah, Stuart, I want to just back up a minute because I don't want to candy coat this because business is business, money is money. It's hard to find groups. I mean, I don't want to make this sound simple, but you out there as professional salespeople, if you don't know, you will know, and you will need to know that it's persistence. It's trying things. It's failing at things. It's going out, becoming visible. Some things will work. Some things won't work. Some people will lead you on and then drop you as a hot potato. I mean, it happens all the time, but that happens to be the profession that we are in. Mm-hmm. So I think in addition to visibility, one of the things that we all need to focus on as we all move forward is that we have to become knowledgeable of how the game is played and then become bulletproof. Mm-hmm. And by bulletproof, I mean you can't hurt me. Mm-hmm. You can't reject me. I'm here to build a business for my family so we can eat regularly and so my kids can go to college and we can buy our own vacation. And it's going to take time and effort and repetition and over and learning and tweaking. It's no easy way to do this. But this is a logical way to do it because river cruising, Viking is advertising every single day. People are becoming aware of this vacation. They're becoming intrigued with it. They want to know more about it, and who better to show them more about it, to teach them, than you in a small group meeting, brought into their association, their meeting, their clubs, their whatever it is, and you go in and introduce your service to them and your personality. That's what we're trying to talk about today. I venture to guess that of the 100 people that are on the line today, if I asked you in the last 3 weeks how many people wrote a letter asking to come in and speak to their group, out of 80 or 100 people on the line today, I'll be willing to bet that it's not three. It's not even, I'm going to say none, but it could be one of you out there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing enough to get the ball rolling. And the ball rolling is you get in front of people to introduce the program. Some will do it, some won't do it, and that's the name and the nature of sales today.
Yep. Good stuff. You want me to read some of these comments, Mike?
Go ahead. Give me some more.
Okay. I'll burn through a lot because everyone, thank you so much for participating. This is great, Mike. Everyone is really typing in comments.
Stuart, there's some great questions here that we're not going to get to. And I'm going to talk to you after the program today because we're going to run out of time. I think you and I ought to go through these questions, document it, and if you send us an email, folks, we'll get it back to you.
Yeah.
Well, we don't even have to. You have their emails already.
Yeah, but we're going to give it a shot because maybe we can. Maybe we can. Mitch says, I'm going to go through. Mitch says, in terms of video, but add a B-roll with destination photos. Basically, yeah, with the photos or video, you don't necessarily always use the stock stuff that's sent to you. It's boring. If you've been there, or if you have friends who've been there, use real. People want to see real people because if it's a professional shot, they'll know it's a professional shot. I think that's important whenever we do marketing and advertising.
Hey, Stuart, wait, hold that, Stuart, right there. I was going through my pictures before the program today. I'm not going to promise this, folks. I'm going to try. And try, I don't like that word either, but I can't promise you. But if you send me an email below and ask and put the word video in it, just put video, I'm going to just take my slides, put them onto PowerPoint, put a music track behind it, and then I'll send it to you. And you'll see how easy it is and how the pictures are. I took the pictures. I don't need permission. They're not out of a book. My pictures to music. I guarantee you'll look at this and you'll want to take a river cruise. And I'm giving you this. If you want to use that video, you might want to. You can use it. Go ahead, use it. I don't care. But send me an email and that'll kind of push me towards that. It's an easy project to do. Go ahead, Stuart.
Let's see here. David said, right on. Thank you very much. Kay is asking, what extra dinner? Because I said, build in the package before. So quickly address this. Dinner excursion. What would you do on a river cruise? And Kay, that's a great question. Yeah, at a river cruise, you still have to package, and I'm going to do that too. So you're like, but wait a minute, a river cruise includes everything. Wine and beer with dinner, all excursions. Let me tell you what you can do. You don't want to offer something that's going to take away something that they know is already included. So here's what we're going to do on my river cruise. You know that all river cruises, they offer some excursions for a couple extra bucks, like the extra pressure one, right? There's always something a little extra. Okay, and that's the one everyone loves, but it's very limited. It's more money too. Well, we're going to build in that extra special one, prepaid, done. Okay. The other thing is that when we see there's a gap in time, a free day, we're going to offer a tour. In fact, we're actually going to do I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to do a pub crawl in Rudesheim. The group doesn't even know this yet, but you're professionals, I can tell you. We're going to lead and put together a special that's after dinner because we're overnighting. But Kay, there's so many things you can still do. What about a massage? Oh my goodness, right? There's so many things you can build in, but make sure they want it because you don't want them saying, can you take out that massage from the price, reduce my price? I don't want it. Make sure it's something they all want, or at the very least, give them a choice. Let's see. John says,
Stuart, Michael asked, in addition to the cruise line and working through the cruise line, are there other suppliers that you collaborate with to make the package more appealing?
Well, absolutely. There are so many other small suppliers like companies that operate very locally in Europe, including in the U.S. too. I don't know if any of you ever do this. You book these. There could be another travel agency. Okay, where they'll do a reciprocal, they'll do something special, or a private tour company. You don't always have to go through the cruise line, the river cruise line, or anybody. You can go through these tiny operators who'll give you a very, very, very personalized approach, and usually excellent net pricing, so you can mark it up where you want.
Now, when you go on a river cruise fam trip, which if you haven't done one, I strongly recommend you do. That's where you get your own personal pictures, of course, and that's a chance to go into these little areas, little corners of the town, and to begin negotiating or introducing yourself to the local establishments to say, listen, I'm thinking of putting together a group next November. Can give me your address. I'd like to talk about a special dinner at your restaurant or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they'd be delighted to talk to you. I would think they would be.
Absolutely, and John posted that as well. Other amenities. There are so many companies out there who'll do very, very local special stuff. One of the things we're trying to do too is like a special offsite dinner. Actually, not a dinner, because lunch and especially dinner on a river cruise, Mike. You know this. It's a special event. It's a party. It's fun, and that's something agents, if you haven't been on that river cruise, or if you have, you want to talk about that dinner as an event. It's lively. It's fun. It's flowing. You walk in that restaurant, right, Mike? The first time, you don't know a soul. By the end of that cruise, it's like summer camp. You know everybody. That's what Kimberly said. It's like summer camp. Yeah, everybody says we're going to keep in touch, and then you don't. Maybe you do, but with a group, they meet even more people.
Stuart, this one came in from Mitch, and he says, how do you differentiate between the river cruises? And this is what I've always said. A river's a river, a town's a town, different river cruises. Here's what I'd like to ask the group. I don't know if you'll play with me on this one, but I'm very pro AMA Waterways. Okay, I do work with AMA Waterways. I'm a pro AMA Waterways guy, and I just love their product. Mm-hmm. But they don't advertise, and of course, one of their competitors, Viking, is big for advertising, and they see specials on the internet. If anybody out there listening to this program today has been on AMA and Viking, could you send me or Stuart an email telling us what difference you saw? I mean, I'm pro AMA. I'm going to talk AMA, but I want to know. I've never been on Viking, but is there a difference? Did you see a difference? Did you experience a difference? And it doesn't have to be Viking. It could be Avalon or anyone else. If you've been on more than one river cruise, to you, was there a difference, and what was it? Now, hopefully we get a couple of inputs back from the field, because that's how we do our research. You guys know because you've been on it, and I'd love to learn from you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I want you to know a lot of people are posting that they're going to start. John's going to start writing that letter. People are putting in options of what you can add on, like a chocolate tour in Belgium, a beer tour in the Netherlands. We definitely have some comments about AMA and Viking. Some of them I prefer not to read, but if folks want to talk about offline, Mike, we can. Yvonne asks, selling to a business, where do you go to find the name of the right person to address in the letter? How do you find that person to write to? Basically, if it's a retail business, Yvonne, you want to go shop at that. You want to buy their products and get to know the people there and make friends with the people who are working there, because it could be the person behind the counter. It could be the owner. It could be the manager. You want to get to know them, because if you just call corporate and say, yes, I have a travel professional, I want to put a group together for you, who do I send my stuff to? You're not going to get the right person. They're going to shield the president. They're going to shield the decision maker. So you got to make friends with the people and find out who is the keyword. Write this down: influencer. Who's the influencer? Who is the person that can influence the others in the organization, if it's a big company? Who is the influencer who is also responsible for driving in customer loyalty? A lot of times, if you're going to do a group with a business, a local retailer, they want to build their sales. They want to build customer loyalty. You got to find out who's in charge of growing the business and go have a cup of coffee. Say, hey, listen, I'm a local business owner. You're a local business owner. Let's go have a cup of coffee, because I want to grow my business. You want to grow my business. Let's go talk. Nice and sweet, innocent like that. And maybe you could solve their problem, because you got a river cruise in your pocket here that can bring everybody together. You can have a love fest.
Stuart, this may be a crazy analogy, but all of my analogies are. You take I'll use the word, a beautiful woman, walking down the street. Men would notice that, but they're scared to approach this beautiful woman because she's beautiful and I'm not, and she'll never talk to me, and she continues to walk down the street because we figure that we can't talk to her because we're putting her in a different elevation than we are. And that nothing could be further from the truth. That woman said, I wish somebody would talk to me. I wish somebody would ask me to dance. Well, the same thing happens in businesses. We feel, oh, the president would never talk to me. I mean, who am I to talk to? This guy is a guy. That's all he is. He'll talk to you. It's you get out, you talk to people. You play Columbo. You go out and you dig and you find out and you learn, and that's the business you're in. You don't be ashamed to talk to anybody. Whoever you want to talk to, talk to them. They're just people, and yet we have a tendency, oh, I can't do that. He's the president. Come on. Stuart's the president. He's easy to talk to. He's the big shot of his company. Nobody's a big shot today, folks. Nobody. I mean, you see that on the Shark Tank. I mean, these guys are, they're just goons, You go ahead. You talk to anybody.
It's so true. It's so true.
Donald Trump said, look, he wants to be the president. You can talk to anybody.
All right. Well, we got a lot of comments here. Some people are wanting that comparison of feedback we get. We're not writing the feedback about Amma and Viking, but some people are requesting this. So I know everyone's making comments here, but I know, Mike, that your intention for doing this program was to really engage, and you offered that we would do some follow-up, which is great. Agents are also asking to see if we can sort of compile lists of what others are doing to package in some more packaging ideas.
Yeah, hey, Stuart, here's the problem there, and you've seen it in the last 30 years in this industry, and I've seen it. And now I'm going to just get a little on my soapbox for a second.
Go ahead.
You people out there, you travel professionals, it took a long time for you to get to the point where you're not scared of each other. You're not competing with each other, but it always used to be that way. Stuart and I have these webinars, these forums, soliciting your input, and guess what? No one gives it to us. If you people out there, if the 100 people on the line today all gave us some input, we would tie it together, send it back out to the 100 people, and you'd all be very intelligent travel professionals. But what happens? 99 are just say, give it to me when you get it, and nobody gives it to us. I mean, you got to give before you get. Yeah. And it's like pulling teeth. I mean, I'm trying to get input from people, and it just doesn't come. And you're the people out there who know your business. Stuart and I, we're not doing what you do every day, but we're saying, hey, give it to us. We'll compile it and give it back to you. That's a home run.
Yeah. It's best practices. That's what it is.
It's collaboration. Yeah. I mean, the power of the travel, it's collaboration. It's who you know and collaboration. And that's what we're trying to do. I think that's why this is a free webinar that we're saying, tell us something, we'll give it back to you in spades. It'll be worth $1,000 to you if you do that.
Wait, Mike, you told me you were paying me for this.
I'm gonna, that's like once we get rid of all the people asking for their money back, you get whatever's left.
Nice. Jen wants to know if there's going to be a replay of this webinar. I know that. The FCC just called me, and they're taking us off the air in 2 minutes. So I don't think there's going to be a replay. No, not 2 minutes. It's not 2 minutes.
Maybe on Netflix. Hey, they might look at Netflix and Amazon videos. It could be on there.
Jen wants to know if there's going to be a replay. Everything he says everything we talked about was exactly what he needed to hear, which is really wonderful to hear. Thank you very much.
Well, hey, let me correct it. By the way, Jen is Jennifer, so the he now becomes a she.
Jen,
so you just went downhill you just screwed that one up.
Okay? I'm sorry, Jen. I actually know Jen. I'm sorry. I'm reading fast here. Really, really fast. All right, what do we got here?
Mitch went out to check his mailbox. He was hoping that the rebate was in the mail already, but it wasn't there.
Yeah. Let's see here. Educated clients is great trust. Yep. They get something free when they reach a particular number. We're talking about incentives now. Maybe a donation to the organization with a certain number of people. Yeah, whether it's a fundraiser. But Mary Ellen, right, Mike? Before you go in saying, "I'll give you $50 a head," no. Ask, what do you want? What do you need? What do you
Yeah.
need? Because here's what we can do. Tell them you can build this wonderful package, and if you want, you can put in an extra. You can do the overcharge, guys. All these lines will allow you to a certain level of overcharge. That can either be done as a fundraiser, or you can go and use, and you can buy these extra amenities, or if it's a fundraiser, you let the people know. Now, listen to me. Nobody's going to book a $10,000 or $15,000 river cruise a couple if some of the proceeds are going back to a charity. That's nice, but that's not the pivotal thing. They're going to travel as a group for a specific reason. They have to go. They need to go because the affinity, the glue, the magnet is so strong. Maybe you're the group leader. They want to hang out with you. Maybe, a top chef, an author, a big wig is going. Maybe the couple who's celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary are going. That's what's going to do it. It's not going to be the couple of bucks, I don't think. That's going to be good. It's a nice thing to do, but not the pivotal thing.
Hey, Stuart, Alfreda wants to know that when you put stuff into the package, Alfreda, you're in business. Yes, you do charge for that. You do when you put something into a package. Yes, you do charge for that. Unless, now here's the unless, and here's what I strongly recommend. A lot of you do. What you need to do as fast as you can is to get a group out on the river. Now, if you don't make a dime on that first one, you're going to be educated to the hilt. So even if the first one is we'll call it a lost leader. I don't like that word, but sometimes we do have to do that. Mm-hmm. The education will be worth it. So you want to get the first one in motion by hook or crook. Mm-hmm. If you make a few bucks, great. If I made 10 cents, good. You didn't lose money. Mm-hmm. If you lose 10 cents, that's okay. You went to school for 10 cents. But you have to. You got to do it. Can't talk about it, and we can talk about it for months and months and months, but you do one of these, you're going to be so far ahead of the game with what you learn and what you do next time and what you wouldn't do next time, that's the key. And that's professional salesman. That's entrepreneurship, is to get out of your comfort zone and go do something and learn from it and keep moving forward. That's the answer. That's the key. And we're telling you today, Stuart Cohen and myself, the product is good. The need is there. You're good. All you have to do is put these things together, get more people to know you're alive, introduce yourself, offer them something. Some will say yes, some will say no. Get it going, and you're going to be moving forward, Stuart.
Yep. Yes. I promised that I was going to offer something free, and let's just review it quick because we've got like 2 minutes left. So everybody hang on here. There's my email address, and everyone seems to be taking a poll here asking about like Sandra says, where would a good resource to see an agreement contract between the travel agent and the Pied Piper? Well, here's what I'll do. If you send me an email, I'll not only send you a PDF, I'm not going to send you the template. The template is worth an enormous amount of money. You got to be in boot camp to get that, because I got a lot of people in boot camp in right now. They're going to be like, you're giving it all away free? That's not fair. No, but I will give you a lot. I'm going to give you a PDF that shows you all the 6 critical ingredients of a group template, and I'm also going to give you a link to a video that's inside bootcamp. So yes, I'm going to give you a special treat. Why? Because I want to see you succeed. Maybe you'll want to join bootcamp, maybe not, but I made a promise to you, and I want to help you grow. I want you to come back when we do this thing again, if you want us to do it again, and say, this was awesome. You're going to tell your friends and family. You got to tune in to listen to Mike and Stuart, because they 50% of the time they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, 50 on the right hand. There's 50 over here. But, folks, by the way, let us know. I mean, normally a webinar should be 20 minutes. And before you know it, look, it's been an hour already. Time flies. Let us know if you enjoyed the camaraderie, if you enjoyed this type of a program, because, Wrench and I, we're thinking about maybe doing this on a more regular basis, maybe monthly, maybe who knows. But give us some feedback if we resonated with you. When I know we didn't get to all your questions, I understand that there was a lot of questions. We are interested seriously in helping you become more successful. You have to tell us how we can help you do that. So give us some feedback on this program so we then can go back to our development, see if we can put something together for you guys, because it's fun for us. Hey, don't get me, we really enjoy it. It's not, we don't call this work, we call it fun.
It's
right,
fun.
Stuart?
That's it. And let me tell you that although we may not have addressed, Mike, if I may be so bold, all of your questions and comments, we get a copy of this. We'll see it. And if we need to respond, we will. But reach out to us. Don't wait. Reach out, or reach up to your phone and call us. I mean, we got the banana phones on. I got a mobile banana phone. Okay,
He's got a mobile banana.
I could
He's
be
an
out in my
incredible
garden.
guy.
I could be picking organic tomatoes. But
That explains why you don't return my phone calls. You just explained that. You spoke volumes right there.
guess what? Time's up. Why don't you close this out?
Time is up. I don't know how to close this thing out, except other than we're going to send everybody their money back. We realize that we missed the mark. Everybody, total refund, except Mitch. He wants 3 times the amount. So there you go. We enjoyed it. Tell us if we're ever going to do this again. The ball's in your court. Send us an email for my special report. Right down there. There's where it is. Mike at MikeMarchev.com. Stuart is over there. Let him know. Give us some feedback. And now, guess what? It's Wednesday. The week's almost half done. Hump day. You still have plenty of time to go out and make more people glad they know you. Over and out from uphill near Cooperstown, New York. I think it's snowing outside. I'm not sure. I'm going to go check it out.
Over and out from Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you so much for giving us your time. This was great fun.
Hey, and let me finish by saying this. You are in the best industry anybody could be in. It's all up to you to make it work.
Yep.
Stuart, thanks for joining me today.
Mike, thanks for having me today. Bye, everybody.
There you go.